Yeah,
Let's go.
we live. What's going
Rise and
on?
Rise Academy, baby. We are back at it again. This is your boy Kobe Rise and Rise. And we got yours truly, my brother Showtime Training Group.
Peace to the
What's
family.
happening? What's happening?
Peace to the family. We back at you. Another blessed day, another blessed Wednesday. Yeah, we
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Look,
we
we
here.
halfway there, man. We only got what, one more week and a half till Christmas?
Yeah. Couple more weeks in the year. One more to Christmas, couple more in the year.
Yeah,
Yeah. Three more in
yeah.
the year.
That's perfect. That's perfect, bro. I've been seeing you in the gym, man. I've been seeing you hitting them weights real hard. I said,
Yeah,
we find out Showtime on that thing.
yeah, man. Setting some goals, man. I really got determined, man. I'm super excited about next year. I'm super excited about some of the things that I want to do. Man, it's crazy. I had a conversation with my wife, and I was just letting her know what some of the things I'm doing. I'm getting myself excited about next year. One of the things I like about the new year is that we get a fresh start regardless of if it's mental, of if it's really a fresh start, regardless of what it is, I adapt to that idea, like, and I go ahead and charge myself up, like, hey, okay, this is a new year, man. Let's set some goals. Let's go in. Let's make this the best year ever. What I, and this is something that I do, well, I understand for myself, and it makes perfect sense, man. In order for anything to happen, it has to appear first in your mind. You have to understand that. You have to see it first. In order for us to walk, we had to, see it first. We had to understand what the goal was. And for me, just putting in my mind, already seeing the goal, already obtaining the goal, already seeing myself executing, already seeing myself, you know, um, going, it helps me regardless of whether or not it goes down exactly the way I vision it. When we actually get there, it just helps me get toward that goal, if that makes sense. Just always just visualizing before I even get there. Like I said, I'm hyping myself up. I've already seen just different goals. I've already accomplished some of those goals for next year, if that makes sense, man. Not getting too crazy, but it's helping me. It's helping drive me this year, and that'll bring us right into our topic. Starting now. You know, starting now. Like I said, man, for me, that was one of the things that helped me just get excited about next year. Next year's not even here yet. We still got one more month. We still got Christmas. We still got so much, going on. But for me, man, I'm super excited. I've already set my goals. My goals are already in place. Everything is already in motion. I'm excited about writing this vision board because I'm already in the process of attacking some of those goals that I would have had on the vision board. So yeah, look like we having some technicals.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Show?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, something was going on with the internet, so that's why it kicked me out. You were still going, so I heard
Okay.
everything you said.
Okay. So yeah, man, start now. Start now. That's why I was when we was thinking about a topic. I was like, man, it's that's I think that's a good one. Some of the skills, some of the tools that we're using just to go ahead and start executing. Don't wait till January 1st. Don't wait till December 31st. Go ahead and start now. Set those goals. Get that mindset that we're gonna win next year. I don't care how this year was for you. If it was good, make it better. If it was bad, next year won't be like this year.
Yeah.
And go ahead and start build that momentum. Like you said, Kobe, man, you see me in the gym, I built that momentum. It's going to trickle over, man. I'm gonna have such a good year, man, next year. And I promise you, I'm only doing these skills that I'm sharing
Yeah.
with everybody else. Like I said, I literally had to let my wife know, yo, get excited about some of your goals. Go ahead and look into next year. Whatever it was, it may have been some things that held you back this year. Maybe the pandemic held you back from some things. There's really no excuse now. This next year,
That's a
there's
fact.
going to be no excuse. We've seen things. We've been stuck in the house, but we've still seen people execute. So go ahead and start it now. Let's go ahead and build that momentum. Let's build that momentum.
Yo,
It's
no, that
hard to
was dope.
stop.
That was deep because like everybody been talking about like how the pandemic done held them back so much. You know what I'm saying? And like I hear that so much, and I'm like, yo, the pandemic was like 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We on to the next start. You dig? Like you see people still getting it in. Pandemic, no pandemic. Like for me, like the grind never stopped. You know, gyms were closed. That's true. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna stop my grind. I'm gonna find a different way to get to that same path. You dig what I'm saying? And that's the part about goal setting because it kind of gives you that um, it gives you something to reach for. You dig? You got to go hard. Like I said, man, Showtime be getting hard in this gym, y'all. If you ain't been following, make sure y'all go follow him. You dig? Showtime Training Group. You see what I'm saying? Storyboard's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to do the hashtag Start Now 2023. Start Now 2023. That's the hashtag. I want to see it going, right? And I'm going to actually add something to that, right? So one thing I said was, if we're gonna get in the gym, we're going for blood. You dig? And not necessarily literally, but it's a figure of speech to say you got to go all the way in there. You dig? You got to start right now, and when you do start, go all the way in. No hold back, all or nothing. You go for blood. 2023. This is no games. We're going in. You dig? And I was reminding me about how important it is to have goals and to have a plan to get to that
Technical difficulties at the moment. But yeah, while my brother get back on. So yeah, tonight we're just gonna go over just some things. When my brother jump back on, we're just gonna talk about just different things you can use, different tools you can use to go ahead and start executing. You know, starting now 2023. We're gonna go ahead kickstart next year. He also spoke about going for blood this year. Man, set those goals. If these last few years haven't been anything, they've been exposure years. So we've really seen a lot. We've seen a lot with everything. I've seen a lot with the social media. I've seen the people that you thought were superstars, the big, bulky, weightlifters. You see just different things along the years. I've seen so much, going along the years. I was just speaking about, man, just how these last few years have been exposure years, man. We've seen a lot. We've seen a lot. We've seen just all sorts of things, man. All sorts of myths debunked. So if there's anything that I grabbed from these last few years, it's just do your own research, kind of establish your own perspective, understand yourself, understand your capabilities, and no excuses. So yeah, I'll go ahead and let you jump back in there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. This is the internet, man. So I'm about to get all this stuff situated. But yeah,
Okay.
it reminded me of a book we talked about. A little bit I talked about was called 12-Week Year. You dig? And this book was like super, super important because when you think about a year, we think about 12 months. So we're now in a new age where nobody can focus real for a long time, but their focus is quick. You know, if you can't hold a conversation within like 30 seconds, most of the time they're just gonna cut. You dig? And so when I say we, I'm talking about society. When it comes to goal setting, it's hard for them to plan a year out. Most people are not planning a whole year out. They'll say they can do this whole New Year transition, but most of the time, and I know you've seen it too, January come, they'll do pretty good for that month. Gyms start to slowly but surely weed out about February, March, April. You barely even see them anymore. It gets right back to the same people that's been getting it in. They're always there. The new faces, you don't see them again. They
That's
didn't really
real.
plan out their goals correctly. You dig? And then one thing it actually talked about was the mindset shift. Actually, that's what you talked about too. Instead of doing a 12-month year, do a 12-week year. And so what you do, your year is now equal to 12 weeks. So that's going to be your new year. So the excitement of December is now going to hit continuously. You dig? So 1 week is now going to be 1 month's worth, all consolidated. So one top thing when it comes to setting that goal is to have a compelling vision. I don't think you can have an optimal goal without a vision. You dig? And like, what do you want to achieve? How big is this goal? How big is the achievement? Think about questions like, well, how is this going to benefit my family? How is this going to fulfill my income? You dig? And how is it going to fulfill my career? Different things like that that can help you get to your goals better because now it's becoming a part of your everyday life. If you can set your goal to where it's a part of your everyday life, I think a vision that's big enough will include your entire life. So if you're going to work out, let that be the driving factor for everything that you do from the time that you wake up to the time you go to bed. Like for me, I remember I always talk about how when I started to work out, I actually became more successful in just life, period. More confidence, more diligence, more endurance. You dig? And these things just kind of came as time went on because the discipline set by itself. Once I started to be more consistent and wanted to grind harder and push more, I began to see better results. I then explored new opportunities, which created more, well, like I said, created, but it enticed my creativity mind. So now I'm starting to expand myself into a bigger portion of who I already was. You dig? And it actually started with setting a big, huge goal and having that vision already set to say, well, this is exactly where I want to go. How am I going to get there? Where am I at? Where am I going? How am I going to get there based on where I'm at today? I think something so big like that, now you can kind of focus on how long it's going to take to get there. I say one thing that you can do is 1 year is kind of a long time. Certain people may forget about their goals. So let's consolidate it. Instead of doing 12-month goal, do a 12-week goal. A whole year within 12 weeks, knock it out. Do another 12 weeks and keep that going because now the drive is there to get there. Because if you think about a whole year, that's 12 months. That's a long time. You may get distracted. 12 weeks, that's what, 3 months? You dig? So just think about it like that, and I actually took some notes about that too. Having that compelling vision is really getting, like, for example, it's like getting big, getting strong, healing the inside of your body, having a better nutrition, overcoming challenges, daily challenges. Um, just start with stuff like that to kind of get you in the door when it comes to starting right now. Get that vision big enough to where you can start right now, and then you can set your goal right to keep that compelling vision and actually see it through to make it a reality. You dig? A dream is one thing, but a vision, you carrying out your dream. So that's one thing I would probably say to help out when it comes to making these goals right. So when you get a time for 2023, go ahead and have it ready. So when January 1st gets here, you already have a vision of where you want to go for 2023.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. And I'll even add to that a few takeaways I got. You mentioned just some micro goals. I call them micro goals and macro goals, or just mini goals. And then you have that mega goal. So, like you mentioned, a lot of people have issues with committing and keeping those long term goals. So you set maybe those small goals that keep you encouraged, that keep you motivated, that help you get toward that mega goal, that big goal. Those micro goals. Um, for me, and when you were speaking, it made me think again on another layer of why I wanted the topic to be start now. Um, Tonight, I think that I started seeing results, man, and it was crazy. It was like, I could have waited to the new year like everybody else and just said, man, I'm gonna start these goals January 1st. I'm gonna meal prep on the first. I'm gonna buy my containers on the 31st. I could have waited, like majority of us will. Majority of people will,
Yep.
you know. but it feels really good, man, to go ahead and get that momentum. Like I said, we got one more week till
Yep.
Christmas. At least I want to say at least about 2.5, maybe 3 more weeks in the year. Go ahead, start wherever your goal is and everything, man. Not just with my gym, my fitness. Everybody been seeing me in the gym, but some of my financial goals, some of my budgeting goals, some of my goals as my family, with my family. You know, some
There
of the
you
goals
go.
that we had set for next year, we're already putting in place. Like you
There you
said, man,
go.
setting those small goals, those mini goals. Okay, maybe this day work on my credit score, or this day work on this. And that's one of those mini goals that's going to motivate me and excite me to some of the ultimate, the mega goals for next year. Man, I'm super pumped, man. But I did want to highlight, when you see the results, it's motivating. So
There you go.
it's gonna drive me, man. January is gonna be good. I can't stress enough, man. I'm excited about next year, and that's because partially I'm setting the tone right now. I'm already doing whatever it is that I think I'm going to commit to on the January 1st. Whatever it is that I feel like I'm gonna commit to for next year, I'm starting now. Prove it to yourself. Make a small discipline. It started off for me with a small discipline. I think I remember it goes back to the episode we had German on, when German was kind of mentioning some of the tips, some of the things we spoke about fasting. For me, I wanted to gain weight, so I wanted to slowly do it, really slowly start incorporating different things into my regimen, different things into my routine. So I started with slow, again, mini goals. I set a small goal. Okay, let me just add a banana and some oatmeal, some oats with some fruit. That's it. Every day, I just want to make sure I get that complete carb. Oats is really good for you. It's not a bad thing, especially if my goal is gaining weight. Let me go ahead and get those carbs in and make sure I commit to a banana and extra water. I started there, and like I said, man, I committed, I stayed disciplined, I didn't stop. That's another thing. Don't stop. Whatever your goals are, start
Hmm.
now and keep going. Again, like I said, Kobe, you mentioned it. Yo, I'm in the gym. I caught wind. I caught that momentum, man, and I don't think we ain't gonna stop till we done. Probably this time next December, I'll be finishing up from this rant that I'm talking about
Yeah.
right now, that I'm starting off right now. This time next December, we're gonna do a recap. I promise you, it's gonna be a good year. So
Yeah.
start now.
I'm excited for it, man. You actually hit a lot of topics that I was going to discuss anyway. You pretty much broke that down, like you said. Starting, Showtime, we call them micro goals, right? So, like in the book, it actually talks about in that 12-week year, there's no plan that's perfect. As long as you have something that's there. Each week is a small goal where you make tasks, statistical task lists. Like you said, you start off with doing the bananas, right? You put the water in there, getting all that. So where you get your protein, and you, like you said, started getting to the gym, you got your momentum. You just marking these little small little checklists off your goals so you can get goal one, check out the list. Next goal you want to get, set small little tasks to get them out the way too. Boom. Once you get done, check that off the list. And typically what that does is that creates what you just said, that result. You got that cutness, you know what I'm saying? You start to see the results in the gym. What did that do? That created that motivation to do what? I'm gonna keep going because I done seen exactly what the work has been putting in because I've been consistent and knocking these small tasks off the list to where I got a big goal checked off the list to where I can get to the next week's goal, get my little small macros and statistical details knocked out the way to get another week knocked off the list. You dig? So if you're gaining muscle, you might see a 10% gain the first week. The next week, you might see a 3, maybe a 5, 6% gain. But the point is, you get in momentum because you're actually seeing the results for yourself. And if not that, you having people come and tell you, and I'm sure you probably see it too. Everybody else coming to you, hey man, you looking good. What you doing? What you doing is different. You dig? And it makes you feel more gratitude for the work that you're putting in because everybody else can see it. You can see it. You get the motivation. Now you're focused. You locked in. Now it's like, well, what else can I do? Now you're gonna keep that drive going. And these little things right here are setting yourself a priority to make it a daily task list to get everything knocked out the way. You dig what I'm saying? And what you put most of your focus on, that is what's going to help you kind of keep that drive going. You dig? So all these little distractions here and there, it won't even matter because you're so tuned in. You got that tunnel vision. Nobody
Oh,
can distract you from that because you're so focused on hitting that goal.
oh yeah.
Everything is thought out and fully defined. You just had it fully defined. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna get this banana. I'm gonna get my breakfast going. You started off small. Check your goals off the list. You got them consistent. You on to the next one. You did. I remember I set a goal and I beat my goal because I was just so driven to it. I didn't even really think about it. I had a plan for next month that I've already reached like 2 days ago. And so now I'm gonna set a new goal. So the goal that I have for January, I now got to set a higher goal than that because I'm already ahead of the head of the game where I need to be.
Come on, come on, talk to me. I
So it's
want to
like,
give.
man, that's one thing that you kind of hit on the hammer with that one.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I just wanted to give some encouragement. I want to give some encouragement, man. A statistic. What was I listening to? I can't remember exactly, but it's all something we know. But I wanna challenge you and get you to understand something. So statistically, it's said that the average person uses about 10% of what we're really capable of using, especially when it comes to dealing with our mind. So we only are accessing about 10% of ourselves. And that's another thing. Me and my wife had a conversation about that. I want you to think about that. So if you're accessing 10% of yourself, only 10%, that 10% I feel like is, look at we've been able to accomplish. Look at what you've been able to accomplish as an individual. Like I said, I want to encourage you. A lot of times people don't set goals because they don't think they can accomplish goals. I want to encourage you. I want you to look, whoever's watching this video, I promise you, I'm big on just showing and empowering and just reminding us of who we are, who God created us to be. Don't take that lightly. Don't take that lightly. Again, like I said, a lot of times we don't set those goals because we don't think we're capable of achieving goals. You know, a lot of us aren't exposed to great things, so we don't know that we're capable of doing great things, and we don't have somebody tell us we can do great things. I'm gonna tell you straight up, whoever watching this video, you can do great things. I don't care
Real
what it
talk.
is. If it's in your heart, if God put it in your heart, I heard once too, God wouldn't show you the vision. He wouldn't put it in your heart unless you could accomplish it. So go ahead and start now, 2023. Let's go. Start those goals. Set those goals. You can do it. You can do it. It's going to require some of those things that Kobe just mentioned. Go ahead and write down. He been for the last 2 weeks. He been holding up his journal. We're just giving you little tidbits, little things that help us. You know, uh, to reach the success that we've reached and still going. We're just sharing some of those things that's helped us and continue to help us. You know, but I definitely say start now. If you don't feel like you're capable of reaching your goals, let me look you in your face and tell you from somebody who wasn't breathing in 2008, who the doctor said wouldn't be what was done. They called my parents, told them I was dead. From somebody who, man, I could go down the list from people that told you was telling people what I shouldn't have been and what I could have been and where I was supposed to be. And I'm here now, a happily married man for 7 years. I'm raising a
Come on.
child, living in a house, minding my business, trying to get my credit right, doing things right,
Yes,
and,
sir.
and all that happened just setting goals, just refusing to listen to anybody that said, that wanted me to be a statistic, that wanted me to be like the next, African American male, or wanted me to be like the other ones that they seen that wasn't successful. And I'm sharing that same energy with you. You can do it. I don't care what it is. Start now 2023. Boom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I'm gonna leave y'all with this too, man. For people who understand, like, I'm gonna just give a business perspective for it. Yo, when it comes to tracking, like in business, a lot of times they say you need to track your metrics. You dig? And so outcomes, they're driven by action. So there's something called a scorecard that we would do whenever you're working for, a company or whatever. And so what they do is they measure the execution, not the results, right? So for a team, What they would do, like the manager, they would have their team write out their feedback. They will measure the feedback. And how do you measure feedback? Let's say if you're at a call center, they get the feedback from the customer. Oh yeah, this person was good. They were very, impactful. They were caring, things like that. That's a measurement of the feedback, not the accountability. So what it does, it allows you to confront the reality without the negative consequences. So for example, you do a survey, let's just say the person didn't really like it. You just got to confront the reality because that's the feedback. Now you got to deal with the truth. Well, then you got to ask yourself, well, why was the feedback so negative? Well, because they used to talk real fast. Now you have something to go off of to get better. Okay, boom. Talk fast. Let me work on talking slow, right? So these things is something that you can do whenever you're trying to get your goals out the way. Measure your feedback, not the accountability, because you're gonna do it, and it allows you to confront that reality without it. And so that's how you keep track of your own progress. You dig? And so when you do it, you measure your own metrics. That's just another way to look at it when it comes to, tracking your goals and getting your goals knocked out the way. Like I said, Showtime completely changed his life. You dig it? He made sure he set himself accountable and got everything done and everything that needed to be done to get to his goals. Right? In this case, he went for blood. He was all or nothing. He did. He started ASAP. 2023 is just a year for y'all, but for Showtime, that was a change of his whole life. So it went past the yearly, goals that we always try to set. He made it a part of his lifestyle. But what Ed did, which was super important, was he made it a part of his life. Therefore, it was easy for him to knock this goal out because everywhere he turned, it was his life. Everywhere you turn, make it a part of your life. Make it personal. You're more inclined to get your goals out the way when you have a purpose that's in your personal endeavors. Like for me, man, I set everything aside. You dig? I was going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. I was like, I don't feel good. You dig? I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I had to really kind of regroup and pull back, and just kind of focus on what it is that I really wanted for my life anyway. You dig? Did some research, looked at who I was. Knowledge of self was really, really big. And that's what I kind of preach to everybody else is if you don't know anything, make sure you know knowledge of self. It can push you further than what it is. Because now if you know yourself, you know exactly where you need to go, how you need to do it. So that way you can make that big goal, that big vision, compelling vision to knock these goals out the way. You dig? So if you know you're trying to lose weight for 2023, what losing this weight, how is it going to change your life? Well, I'm gonna get more energy. I'll be able to look better. My clothes will fit better. You dig? Your whole life will be changed. Because when you feel good, you do good. When you do good, you get results. You dig what I'm saying? So make sure you start right now, 2023. And you already know who to tap in with. Don't even waste no time. If you're gonna do it expeditiously.
Yeah.
Don't guess with it. You dig? I was talking to one of my homies, and they have a daughter, and what they were doing was they were trying a bunch of stuff in the gym because they're trying to be a volleyball player,
Mm.
but they never had a coach, so they don't really know what to do. So they're just trying stuff, this, that, and the third. And he's like, "Yo, I need to get somebody who actually knows what they're doing." He had to go out and find a coach that actually knew what it is to look for to say, okay, this person just needs to, jump higher and know a little bit more fundamentals for them to get to where they got to get to. What that did was that created a task list to get to their goal. The goal was to get on the volleyball team. How are you gonna get there? Well, it took a coach for somebody to see that and say, hey, this is what you need to do. Boom. Now you got to work. Do that. Tap in with your boys, Rise and Rise Academy, man. It's your boy Kobe Rise and Rise. We got Showtime here. We here to make sure everybody get to their goals 2023. Don't wait. Go ahead and start right now. Start ASAP. And remember, you got to go for blood. All or nothing. You dig? I'm telling you, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to be focused. You're going to have people back in your corner. You got me in your corner. You got Showtime in your corner. You always have people, man. I want to see everybody succeed, especially in 2023, man, for sure. You dig? So, hey, man, you got any last words, Showtime?
That's it. That's it. I just want to keep you encouraged. Stay encouraged. Be encouraged. You can do it. We need you. We need your
Real talk.
gift. You know, set them goals. Start now.
ASAP. ASAP, man. But hey, listen, man, when we face with an obstacle, what we do,
We rise and rise, baby.
you already
Peace.
know. Peace. Yes, sir.